We're here at Airventure Oshkosh, and we've come to the North Aircraft Display Area where there's a lot of interesting airplanes, and we found a couple of them here we want to look at. Right now, we're going to look at this particular one, which is a taildragger, and I'm talking to Walter DeLonga.
That's correct.
Hey, Walter, what's your role with SkyReach and the BushCat airplane?
Oh, good morning, sir. My name's Walter DeLonga, and I'm the general manager at Rainbow SkyReach, and I kind of manage the business, overseeing the total day-to-day run of the mill of the business in South Africa.
All right, so you're a pretty good guy we can ask some questions of.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of also the guy that does all the technical work on the aeroplane, and I'm very much involved in the design and the engineering and also the testing of the aeroplane.
Okay, so that makes you a pretty good candidate.
Well, yeah.
We're going to test your ability a little bit. What I'm looking at here, Walter, is an airplane that, well, as I said, we've seen it before in tri-gear. We've done a video about that, so we know the airplane reasonably well. But as I look at it right here from my perspective, I'm seeing a couple things that I don't normally see. First, the gear is different. Obviously, it's a tail dragger, and so the gear is not coming out of where the strut comes down. It's coming in a different place. But it's also different. You said you've done tail draggers before. This is not brand new to you, but there's something new about this. Give me a little of the background, your previous tail dragger, and what you did differently with this one.
Absolutely. What we did is in 2012, we kind of had some display pictures of the standard cheetah tail dragger gear, and that was a tricycle tubular construction, and the folks in America kind of didn't take to that. We said to them, what would you like
the
to
market
see?
people, not the government
people. Yes.
Authorities.
No. The authorities had no problem. The aircraft was approved by FAA and the ASTM standards.
Okay.
But the American folks kind of did not take to that concept.
Okay.
We did some market research and then came up with the sprung gear being the choice of the aviation folks.
This is the Grove landing gear.
This is Grove landing
right
gear.
here in the US.
And also then we had a big discussion amongst the directors and such, and they said, well, let's buy an American spring gear to attach to our airplanes for the American folks. That's what they like. That's what we'll give them.
Okay, good thinking.
This is
now,
what
it looks like you did a little extra fairing work down here. I can see that to accommodate the structure that you added to it. Is that correct?
That is correct. Your question was also the bracing?
Yes, right. I see that this, I'm going to come up here a little bit. What we're seeing right here, I did not notice, thank you for moving that, this structure here was not in the tricycle gear version that we saw.
Negative.
And we know this just rotates up, and that's always been a neat feature. What's all this about, Walter?
Well, the focal point for this airplane in design was a tricycle gear. Therefore, we did not have
with
any
the loads
hard
being
points.
applied right at this point down here.
That is correct. So when we wanted to install the Grove gear on this aeroplane, we did not have any hard points on this aeroplane here. So what we had to do is kind of shift the hard points of the aeroplane in order to make a +6, -4 landing gear that can accommodate the aeroplane. And therefore we had this structure.
So you're distributing the load, basically. Yeah. Does the airplane fly any different as a tail dragger?
It's just a little faster. It looks 10 times better. Everybody says so. I'm kind of out for the nose gear, for the tricycle gear. I don't quite fancy these, but I fly them better.
A lot of people do, though. You're right. If you're a tail dragger person, you like a tail dragger.
Apart from that, the characteristics of the aeroplane is 100% similar.
Yeah, so the rest of the airplane, if we sort of ignore these changes that we just talked about here, the rest of it's the cheetah that we know.
Absolutely.
Okay, and still using behind me here the 912 Rotax,
still has
100 horsepower.
It still has the 912.
That's your standard engine for this particular airplane?
Yes. We like to consider telling the people the 912 100 horses is absolutely what you need in this aeroplane. Although the best match is the 80 horsepower, but if you've got more power, it's always better.
Yeah, I love the 80 horsepower model. It's just a little less strain on the engine to produce that much less power. You can use a regular auto gas instead of high test auto gas, some things like that. But you're right. Most people, why not have 100 horsepower more for a couple $1,000s more? Is about all it costs. So might as well have the extra power.
So what categories is the aircraft available to the public in that?
Well, we've got kind of a huge amount of options to the public. We've got the tail dragger now, as we've changed it to suit the American market better. We've got the tricycle gear, and we've also got the amphibian float plane, and that's also new to the market. As you can see, we are having a very big high impact booth this year, in order to show consistency and show that we're not just a one-hit wonder company. And we're here to stay. We've been in existence for 12 years. And therefore, you know, we want to show the American folks that if you want to buy one of our products, we're here to stay.
Now so this airplane, all ASTM approved, available as a special light sport aircraft, ready to fly?
Absolutely.
And you're maintaining the low, we don't need an exact number, but you're able to maintain your very low price point that you've had earlier?
Absolutely. I can give you some details if you need that.
These videos last a long time, so numbers change, but let's get a ballpark just to give people an idea what an airplane like this can run.
Well, at this ballpark, everything included, $63,000 US.
Okay, so there's a lot of people that say, gee, when this LSA thing started 9 years ago, we thought prices were going to be that number. Time value of money, those numbers would be a little higher today, but you're actually meeting the numbers that we used to talk about 9 years ago here in 2013, so good for you.
Well, if I can substantiate your statement just a little bit more, the reason why we can do that is we still manufacture these airplanes in South Africa. And our labor costs isn't as high as the rest of the world. So therefore, we're still able to offer an extremely good product at $63,000 US.
What kind of organization size do you have? How many employees do you have down in South Africa?
We've got a total manufacturing physically involved employees of 23 people.
Okay.
And then we've got the management structure on top, which is 7.
Okay.
And then, like I say, we've got the US folks that owns the company, and they're directors of 3.
Okay. So you got a team of better than 30 people working to build the SkyReach Cheetah series. Well, we want to go look at one of your other airplanes too, but for now, we've given a lot of information to our viewers. Where do we go? We'll put it up on the screen. You don't have to spell it, but what's your web address or the web address you'd like to have people go to?
Well, it's www.fly-skyreach.com.
Okay, very good. Speaking today with Walter, help me with the last name again?
It's De Lange.
De Lange. He's a little pronunciation there. I wanted to make sure we got right. I'm Dan Johnson. You can find more information about these airplanes, lots of other airplanes on buydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks a lot for joining us here today at Oshkosh. Well, we're still here with the BushCat, and we wanted to make sure we got the U.S. representative. So we're talking to Daniela Knoll, and your company is named?
Aerosport.
And your web address, we'll put it up on the screen.
Sure, it's aerosportsplanes.com.
Okay, great. Now, we want to clarify the certification basis under which an American can buy the airplane. And you've been through the process of getting approvals and so forth. Today, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, you can do special light sport aircraft that is fully built, or experimental light sport aircraft, which means either the owner can build portions of it that you choose, or he can have it professionally built for him, or you could do that for him. Is that correct at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do this out of southeastern Wisconsin in our location for the United States.
So if somebody did want to come and do some of the building, whatever portion, it could be any portion, the 51% rule does not apply for an ELSA, so it's anything you guys choose. It's up to you. Would they come here to Twin Lakes, Wisconsin to do that?
They certainly could. Our Herringborough location has an available guest house for them to stay at if they want to spend a weekend.
Beautiful.
And, yeah, we certainly are fully accommodating. There's an RV site hookup if they want to come with their RV and spend the weekend as well. We go with it.
So have you had some people be interested in that activity?
We have. Nobody's taken advantage of it quite yet. We're still pretty new out there for it, but the offer is there. We actually did have a customer from Kansas that we sold a taildragger to. They'll be coming out, even though it's an SLSA for them. We're providing them take a look and do their transition time over by us before they fly home.
Cool. Pretty pleasant place to be here in central Wisconsin. That's about where you're at, roughly. And so speaking with Danielle Knoll, and thank you very much for joining us today here at Airventure Oshkosh.